everyone. It's Ani with Chica's Kitchen, and today I have 3 recipes for you, and hopefully I'll get them all done. It's going to be, we're going Italian today. Ah, viva Italia! Anyway, it's a recipe that is like a New York style Italian recipe. I don't know, they say they make these a lot in Italy. Don't know, never been. But it is delicious. And what I'm going to make is a stuffed, this is usually done with braciole steaks. So if you have braciole steak or rather do it with braciole steaks, go for it because that's what it's originally done with. However, I'm going to do, I have a package of little round steaks, and I figured I'd go ahead and use them because they're kind of thin like braciole steaks, and they're mini, and the portion, one of those would be right for me, and Hubster can have the rest. That's terrible. But anyway, so I'm going to use round steaks instead, but it's still the same process. Like I said, originally they used braciole steaks, so I think it's called braciole or braciole or braciole, or brasciole. I don't know how to say it in Italian, but it's delicious, and I'm going to make my version of it because you should always get creative and do things how you like them. You know, you can. You know how you go to a restaurant, I've said this before, and you order a meal that looks so good, you know, they show you the picture and everything, and you taste it and you're like, you know, this would be even better with this. You know, or I would substitute this meat for that, or I would add, you know, well, this is what I mean. Get creative and make it your own. And this is what I've done with this recipe. I've made it my own, or I'm going to. Okay, I'm going to do a round braciole type recipe with round steaks. And then I'm going to do the baked ziti. The baked ziti will be with meat. If you're a vegetarian, substitute the meat with vegetables. Very simple. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to take you along with me. I'm also going to make breakfast quiche. It's going to have spinach, of course, cheese, and not feta, though. That's a bit powerful for breakfast. And turkey bacon, you know, just, and probably some chopped, diced up potatoes. It's just going to be in a pie. It's like a breakfast casserole, but in a pie shell. And the pie shell, although I will be posting videos on how to make a short version for pie shell and the long, fluffy, buttery version for pie shell. This is going to be a store-bought pie shell. That would be quicker because I am making 3 recipes, you know, in one day. All right, so I'm going to go ahead. I'm trying to speak properly. I try to learn, but anyway, it's a little difficult. But anyway, I'm going to get started. I'm going to head into the kitchen, and I'm going to introduce you to the ingredients for, I think I'll do the baked ziti first, get that in the oven, because the braciole or round steak is going to be a top stove recipe. No need for the oven on that one. All right, so we'll get started with the baked ziti first, and follow me, and I'll show you the ingredients for that. Okay, guys, here we are with all the ingredients for baked ziti. Okay, a meat baked ziti. Of course, we have mozzarella, shredded cheese. We have 1 pound. This is how I like to do my meats. I always mix 1 pound of ground beef with 1 pound of turkey sausage. Now, you don't have to use ground beef. You can use ground turkey, whatever. I mean, anything, whatever you like, or no meat at all, like I said. Okay, the rigatoni is what I'm going to use instead of the ziti, because you see those little lines right there? Those little lines and curves, they actually catch a lot of the meat, the sauce, and the cheese. So it kind of sticks to it. Whereas the ziti, I find that the meat and everything just rolls right off of it because its surface is smooth. So I use rigatoni. Either way, it's the same. It's fine. Use whatever pasta you like. I've got some cilantro here that I'll throw in there. Just a little touch of Puerto Rico. I got to do me. So I have some ricotta. Here's some leftover ricotta and mozzarella mix that I have from another recipe. I'm going to incorporate that into this mixture. And I am going to mix the mozzarella with the ricotta to stir up with the rigatoni, okay, first. Because that'll make it nice and creamy and gives it a better flavor. You're going to need 2 cans of diced tomatoes, 1 can of spaghetti sauce, use your favorite, a jar of roasted red bell pepper, that's my added, and of course some diced red, yellow, green peppers, whatever, and onions to stir fry with. And there's one more ingredient that I have to get out. Now you can use fresh garlic, but most people use fresh garlic cloves, and they kind of stir fry, the peppers and onions and vegetables in with it, and then they remove the whole garlic clove. I like to leave my garlic in there. So a lot of people don't like it, so what I do is I use the mince. Now you can get the fresh cloves and then just put it through the crusher. That's fine too. I have one of those. It's just too much work for me. To be honest with you. Why go through the trouble when you can get it already minced and done for you? And all they do is they just put it in water. See, it says it. In water. All right, so those are the ingredients. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to start stir frying my meat. And then I'm going to boil the rigatoni in a pot, of course. Now, the meat is going to be in a pot, not in a pan, okay? Because we're gonna stir fry in with it the vegetables and of course all the seasonings that I'm gonna put. Now, as far as your spices go, oregano and basil will be your biggest hits, okay? That's definitely what makes it Italian, okay? It's your basil, your garlic, and your oregano. So I'm going to add some cilantro, like I said. I'll probably add a little bit of turmeric. It's good for you. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and get started. Let me go and get my pots on the stove, set you up so that you can see it all. I'll be right back. Okay, first things first. I've got my water, my pots half full. I'm going to go ahead and bring this to a quick, fast, high boil. So I got that on high. And I'll wait till it starts a rolling boil. Then I'll add some salt and my rigatoni. Okay? And then here, we're going to go ahead and start frying our meat. And put you back up here so you can see. Move my coffee cup out the way. All this stuff is for the braciole of round steak. I want you to be able to see what's in the pot. So, there we go. Ah, coffee. Okay, so scissors, maestro. Now, when I cook, I usually like to have music on. It's so sad that you can't even, you know, have that in your videos on the background anymore. You have to be very careful what you put on there because I don't understand it, but people in their copyright laws I don't get it because here's the thing for me. I mean, I understand it if I was trying to sell it or, you know, as my own or like plagiarize, something like that, but I'm going to turn this on. But here's the thing. We pay for the service. We pay to hear, which means we pay to hear the song. That means we've literally, if you buy the CD, you know, or whatever, it's yours when you buy it. You purchased it, it's yours. You know, you could play it in your car, ride around at full volume, and the whole world hears it, right? But if you play it after you've purchased it on YouTube or anything, oh, then they take it down because it's copyright infringement or whatever, which doesn't make sense to me. I bought it. I'm paying you to be able to listen to your music. So what is the problem? You're getting paid. And it's free advertisement. People are just silly. Silly, silly, silly. Either that or these entities like YouTube, Facebook, and all that, they're just doing too much. Which could be the case. I don't know. But it doesn't do it with all songs, just some. So it could be something the artist, you know, requires. I don't know. Or has in their contract. I have no idea. I just find it very silly. You know, it's a God-given talent, first of all. I'm paying for it. So why should I not be allowed to play it as I want to, when I want to? Doesn't make sense. All right, so first thing we're going to do, just my opinion, not trying to pick a fight. I'm just not knowledgeable, I guess, enough and all that. But it just does, like I said, it doesn't make sense to me. So we're going to brown our meats together. It's the first thing that I like to do without any flavorings or anything added. We will add that later. And this, of course, is a little bit frozen still, but it'll defrost. Always does. Quickly. Let's see. Water is about almost coming to a boil over here. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and work on this and get this stir fried. In the meantime, the water to my left. It's almost at a boil, so let me go ahead and add some salt. It's not a rolling boil yet. Okay, let that melt a little. And salt. I'm gonna say about teaspoons of salt. Should be good enough. Okay. And once that rolls, I'll add the rigatoni and it's about almost there. I'll bring you back. Okay, as you can see, we have a fast boil here. The salt's already been added. So now we're going to add our rigatoni. Okay. Okay. We'll put this back. Oh yeah. Just stir this once you add it to that boiling water. Stir it so it doesn't stick to the bottom. And let it cook al dente, which means instead of 12 to 15 minutes, maybe 5 to 7, because it's going to finish cooking in the oven. Okay, so we got that going. Here's the progress with the meat. It's about dissolved. It's going to take a little more time. I'll bring you back. Okay, well that meat is defrosting and cooking. I thought I'd go ahead and mix in the ricotta and mozzarella. So in goes the ricotta. And I'm going to save this just in case I have any left over. I can go ahead and freeze it in here. And it'll already be labeled, so I'm not going to do it. Okay. Now, as much as ricotta and cheese as you want to put into your thanksgiving, there's no actual measurement. It's strictly by taste. And if you don't like ricotta, don't put it. And no, cottage cheese is not part of the recipe for it, but if that's what you like, go for it. Cottage cheese is a different kind of cheese. A different blend. So, excuse me just for a minute. I think I'm going to use a big fork to blend this in with. Table fork. 4 minutes left on my rigatoni. Okay, so you blend in, mix in the mozzarella, shredded mozzarella, with your ricotta. And this portion, I think, will be just perfect, which is a 15-ounce portion of ricotta and about a cup of mozzarella, cup and a half maybe, shredded mozzarella. Now, I also have this mozzarella that I had from a different recipe in the freezer. Gonna put that in there. Waste not, want not. Now, in your ricotta, you're going to want a little bit of salt. Not a lot. Just about a teaspoon or so. Because ricotta has no flavor. None whatsoever. You also want to put in some oregano. Again, about a teaspoon. Some basil, a teaspoon. And you can also put crushed red peppers if you like black pepper. I don't like, so I don't put it. I just mix that in there real well. And set to the side. Give it a little taste. Perfect. And set this aside until we need it. Okay? I am going to open this bag right now before it gets to where I need it. If I can find my scissors. Okay, got my mozzarella open. That up against there. Now this is done. About 20 seconds on the rigatoni. Yep, they look about half cooked. So, I'm going to drain the rigatoni. I'm going to drain it. Run some cold water over it. So it'll stop cooking. ground meat is done. I'm going to push it over to the side for now. In a big bowl, you're going to want to put your rigatoni. Okay? Excuse me. You're going to take your ricotta, dump it in there, your ricotta and mozzarella, dump it into your rigatoni, and give it a good mix. Okay. Oh yeah, that way it sticks to every one. Every rigatoni has a coating of ricotta and mozzarella. This is how I do mine. Do yours as you like. I'm doing mine this way. But if you follow this recipe, guaranteed, delicioso. And that's Spanish and English. How about that? Okay, let's go. Put this aside for now. Now we're going to work. Put this on a number 6. Now we're going to work on our meat sauce. Okay. We'll put my onions, red peppers and green peppers, my vegetables, and stir fry it in with the meat. Ooh, that was hot. Here. Okay. After the onions and red pepper in there, we're going to put in our garlic. A couple of teaspoons. Okay. Now, here's where the Puerto Rican touch comes in. I got some cilantro. People put fresh basil. I'm going to put in cilantro. Then here comes another touch Puerto Rican, which is sazon. Alright, an envelope of sazon, a packet. Then some oregano, a tablespoon, another touch of Puerto Rican, some cumin, about a teaspoon, some basil, about a tablespoon. I like basil. Some turmeric, about a teaspoon, and of course some adobo. Sprinkle that in there. This is what we have so far in the pot, okay? Let me move you guys in closer. Now, to this, I'm going to add some roasted bell peppers. A lot of the juice first. Love cooking with roasted bell peppers. It's a lot better, you know, that if you blend this, put it through the food processor and make it into a sauce, it's a lot healthier than tomato sauce. Yep. Show is. Those people with renal disease, tomato sauce, high potassium, not good for you. Okay, let that saute. I'm putting my the rest of my peppers away. I'll dice them another day. Put these back in the freezer. Oh, it smells so good. Now, I know y'all think that I forgot something. But I have not. To this, I will be adding sofrito. Okay? rest of this. Just put a splash of water in here. Get the rest of this out. Okay. As soon as I run low on sofrito, I'm going to make another video on how to make sofrito. The quality will be a lot better than the one that I already have up on YouTube. Now that I semi know what I'm doing. Oh, the smell. It smells delicious. Okay, time to put in diced tomatoes. I may be able to get away with using just one. Nope, that's too little. Get in there, cilantro. Nice to meet you. Okay. Oh yeah, much better. And there it is. Okay. Now for the tomato sauce. Or spaghetti sauce. You want to let that simmer and let all, you can actually drain it too if you like, but you want a little bit of moisture because you got to finish cooking the rest of your pasta, you know. So let that saute for a minute. See, most of the water is already out. All the liquids, that's good. I'm going to add a can of spaghetti sauce. Now, if you use a large can of stewed tomato, peeled tomato, or 2 cans, that should be your spaghetti sauce. All you gotta do is season it. That's even better. I'm going to throw a can, maybe 2 of tomato sauce. Let's see what 1 can does. That's good. 1 can. Alright. So now it's time for the oven. Oven does not want to open. Ooh. Don't know what's wrong with it. I'll put this on simmer. I'll bring you back and see what's wrong with this oven door. Okay, it seems that I can only open the top. It won't let me in the bottom. So I'm not sure what's going on there. Hubster will have to figure it out when he gets home. Okay. But that'll do. I can still slide my tray in there. Alright, so I set the oven for 375 and it's heating up right now. And we're going to assemble this dish. Okay? So I'm going to move that over there to the side. And we're going to bring our casserole in. Okay? I'm setting up the stage over here to turn you around. Because my burners are hot. Let's put this away in the fridge. My neck really hurts today. I must have slept on it wrong. Must have. There for now. Okay, this over here. Get my mozzarella. I'm setting the stage, guys. Okay. Alright, I'll turn you around. I just have too much around here. Not enough gas. Okay. I have the meat over here. The cheese there, and I'm bringing the rigatoni and putting it in the casserole. Okay, I'm going to show you how we do this. Okay. First thing you want to do is get a little bit of the top sauce from your meat onto the bottom to sit at the bottom of the casserole. Just like so. Okay, that's so that the rigatoni on the bottom, or ziti, whatever, the pasta on the bottom, the sauce will help it cook, or finish cooking, I should say. Now, some people will mix their meats in with the rigatoni in the bowl and then layer it out. You can do that. Nothing wrong with the process. It all eats. Okay? One thing that I'm missing, which I forgot to mention, pecorino romano parmigiano cheese. Okay, and just sprinkle that on there. And scoop in your meat. Now remember that cheese has mozzarella in it. Okay? Then you put in some more mozzarella. Okay. Then you go again. Should be enough for 3 layers. And believe me, that's a lot. Okay. The cheese. And meat sauce. Okay. And mozzarella. Can I just repeat the process? Okay, the last. By the way, that was a pound of rigatoni, if you're wondering. The good thing about this, even if you're single, you can make a nice big tray, and when it's done and it cools off, you can slice it into single serving pieces and Tupperware and freeze it. And just eat it as you go. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Go with that. Sauce. Meat sauce. Handful mozzarella. Not too much, because once it's done and you bring it out the oven, you will top it off with some more mozzarella cheese on top of this. That way it doesn't burn. Okay? And the rest of this meat will not go to waste because I'll use all this in another dish. So I will freeze it, and it will get used. That was my oven ringing, beeping, belly, whatever. So you want to wipe off all around so it doesn't burn. Alright. We're going to put this into the oven open face like that at 375 for 30 minutes. Then we'll flip it around and do another 10-15. Oh, look at that. Well, my door opened to the oven so easily. I don't know what that was about. Was it having a tantrum? But it did open up. Thank goodness. Alright, so I'm going to put this in the oven. Okay. And set the timer for 30 minutes. And we'll be back. Okay, we got about 53 seconds left on the baked ziti. So, then we'll be able to wrap up that video and finish up the round steak, stuffed round steak. 30 seconds. I got my rack all ready. Let me wipe this stove down real quick. I don't want things to get too dirty. Okay. Here we go. Okay, we're going to check out and see what our baked ziti looks like. The oven is, oh, this is a lot better, guys. A lot better, it even smells better. Look at that. See? Now that is done. So now, what's left is and that mozzarella will melt right in there with all that heat. It'll finish the presentation of the dish. Okay? And that'll melt right in there in just a few minutes. Let me put this back. Now before you cut into that, you've got to let it rest so that it'll all come together. And that way when you slice in there, it'll serve as one piece and not slide all over the place. So, if you're hungry, tell your belly, another 15, okay? Let me put this in the oven just for the purpose of shooting this video. So this cheese will melt, and then I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, everyone, there is my baked ziti. I will go ahead and show the final presentation with a piece sliced out of this. Once it rests and settles, it'll be at the end of this video. Okay, but there it is, my baked ziti. Make you some.